Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above.
Hi guys, it's Friday. Hello. Let's see who's here. I'm seeing Crystalline, Deborah, Demi. Hello. How are you guys doing? Are you guys good? I miss you. I have a calendar. I don't have it with me. I will be back on my normal channel for those who are here for my I call it my main channel. I'll be back over there the start of April. I have been taking some adjustment time and I am feeling adjusted, which is good. So I appreciate all of your guys' patience with me. I know that people are probably don't care and I haven't been consistent like I was when I started, but I'm ready to get back into it and have some more fun, do some normal things again. We were in like a weird period with the 3 streams a week, so we're gonna get back to some normal stuff starting April, which is perfect. It feels good. It starts on a Monday. It's like it feels right. Excuse me. So with that being said, welcome back to Lilly's News. It's Friday. It is 5:03 and it's time to talk about all the things that I tried to figure out. Demi, oh, thank you. Let's talk about some things that you there's things that you probably thought I was going to talk about this week. But I feel like for the past couple weeks, we've talked about some of the most heavy stuff I've ever talked about. Like, and when I talk about those things, I really dig deep and I really try to get like as much information as I possibly can that kind of gets close maybe to the line of it's true but there isn't enough evidence kind of thing. I don't like to go into like just full speculation mode, so I don't really cover things as in a way like other people cover them, just because my brain doesn't work like that and I don't want to get into like full speculation mode. So I'm not going to talk about really intense things. Like I talked to my friend earlier this week and she's like, you're going to talk about the bridge collapse, right? I wanted to, but in the past like day or two, there has been a lot of weird fake news energy around the bridge collapse. And I really wanted to make sure that I didn't continue spreading anything that was absolutely false. There was a lot of like images and 911 calls that came out that were completely fake, that had nothing, they were either like AI generated or calls that didn't like matter to the bridge collapse. So I've been listening, I've been taking in the information, but sometimes we just need like a not so serious, it's not so like extremely harmful moment to breathe. And like I always try to say like trigger warnings before I talk about like the quiet on set stuff, and you know what happened in Florida with the poor missing girl, all of that. I want to cover that stuff, but let's take just a little reprieve for this week. We'll get back into the really dark and nitty gritty stuff next week, but let's just do some things that aren't as intense. I feel like it's needed. We can P. Diddy stuff. Maybe I'll talk about it next week as all of the information kind of settles and like the truth is kind of sifted from the falseness and the allegations and this is going to happen, and we'll do that next week. This week I want to talk a little bit about JLO and not really talk about it. I just kind of want to also make fun of her. No, I don't want to like make fun of her, but I want to like really show you guys just how Delulu she is right now when it comes to her new product that she just released. And I want to talk about Anne Reynolds. This was a really crazy situation, which brought me down a rabbit hole of squatters. So we're going to get into that as well. And I want to talk about this cats thing. This cats thing is like coming back up, and it kind of popped off in 2022. Philip DeFranco just talked about it. I've seen a lot of other people talk about it this past couple weeks. So we're going to talk about some cats as well. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes we just need a little less. The news does a really good job of making things really terrible and reminding you that nothing is okay. So let's do some not so awful things. So JLO, let's just JLO is a mess. So JLO just released, and by JLO I'm referring to Jennifer Lopez, not Ashanti, right? Ashanti was the person that everyone says, did Ashanti sing JLO songs? Ashanti, yes. So everyone believes, not everyone, a lot of people on the internet believe that Ashanti is not just responsible for some songs that Jennifer Lopez has sung, but like the vast majority of them. And so that rumor and chit chat has been kind of rumbling around the internet for the past couple years. And I am kind of with it. I'm kind of with the idea that Ashanti is JLO. Ashanti's voice is JLO. I'm here for it. I love it. I think it's great. Terrible for JLO. But you know, it is what it is. So JLO just came out with her big musical movie. It's on Prime. It's like an hour long. It's all like CGI and AI, and it's her finding herself, love, divorce, love. How many divorces did she have? No judgment on that. But it's like her finding herself and her voice and who she is and how she exists and fits into the world. And you know, everyone kind of goes through that. I was just kind of going through that, like, what am I supposed to be doing after my job change? So, you know, I get it. JLo just has the budget to make it a movie and to have Amazon Prime air it. So, plus the movie of me trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with my life would be so boring. Just me thinking, staring off into space, daydreaming. So this is basically just like a big AI daydream for JLo, which I think is absolutely hilarious. But I don't really want to cover that, like the actual product, because it's just ridiculous. If you've seen an ad, you saw the whole thing. I want to talk about the internet aftermath with Jennifer Lopez. So she didn't just release her movie. She's been releasing clips and kind of like behind the scenes of making This Is Me. And this is probably one of the most popular viral moments, which I think is absolutely amazing. So as we know, JLo, Jenny from the Block, she is no longer 16, but she's reminiscing in this moment, in this very moment. So let's just take a peek. And the internet had so much fun with this. The internet had so much fun. I love it so much.
Like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx. Running.
I can't hear. Steve.
But down the block. Like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx. Running up and down the block. Like crazy little
nothing.
girl who used to
Okay. Sorry, guys. One second. Oh, the Lone Wanderer's bunker here, is it? Okay, so you guys can hear it. Okay, that's fine then. Okay, so let me just play from the beginning. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate
like
that.
this.
So this is
like when I was
JLo.
16 in the Bronx, running
Look
up
at her.
and down the block. That crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams and
No limits, all dreams. So that moment hit the internet hard, and everyone has been kind of stitching it and remaking it, because what in the actual hell is going on? Jennifer Lopez. I have an issue with that moment because she was sweaty, dirty, tired, messy hair. And to her, that felt free. And it brought back the memory that may or may not have taken 12 takes to make. There's a rumor. There is a rumor that it took like 10 to 12 takes for her to do that. But it supposedly brought back a memory of her when she was a child. And I get, kids running around, summertime, getting all sweaty, covered in dirt, blah, blah. I get that. But it's what she said after that was quite strange. And it just left us with a lot of questions. Like, ma'am, what do you mean? As one of them. Which it also just has like a really weird vibe. Like this isn't a moment that she like set up a camera herself and like was just talking to herself and we all have those mirror moments where you just, you're sitting either by yourself or in front of a mirror. You're kind of talking out your life, either out loud or in your head, and you're looking at yourself, and, it's good to connect with oneself. But it was very much, she's reminiscing about simpler times and clearly more money, more problems. She is known to be in the world, like as a celebrity, as one of like an ageless celebrity. Like she still looks very young. There's claims that plastic surgery had nothing to do with it. But I think we've all seen like the evolution of the Kardashians, like you're not ugly, you're just poor type of energy. And for her to sit there and physically make herself like look unattractive and then try to say like, oh, these reminds me when I was a kid, and like she's putting like this weird energy behind it. It was just so very awkward and so very confusing. And then we got hit with this moment here for Miss JLO as well, sort of an interview, kind of like those 72 questions style interview of this JLO moment.
Order at the bodega?
My go-to order at the bodega was ham and cheese on a roll with an orange drink, if you know, and a small bag of chips.
That sounds like the JLO special to me.
You want some tea?
I'd love some, thank you.
You want some tea is so funny. I get it just a little bit now. I don't know. It's good enough for me.
You told me about this earlier. That was stupider than...
So much stupider than... Okay, so if this feels weird, right? So it feels... We're supposed to want to believe. So this is... I know I'm diving too deep into, like, the essence of, like, this moment with JLo, but we're supposed to look at JLo. She has hundreds of dollars of makeup on. Her hair is done. Clearly she's got extensions because in the hair that we just saw in the last clip, it was not this long. She's in probably thousands of dollars worth of clothing. She's in a massive house. The lighting is absolutely perfect. Her everything is done up. Her skin snatched, like face snatched. And we're supposed to believe that what she was, Jenny from the block, even though she was like, by the time she was 18, she was rolling in the money, right? Like she was famous so very young. She was making so much money at such a young age, and she was then no longer on the block. Now I want a ham and cheese roll. And we're supposed to believe that this type of energy like still exists within her. And I'm sure, you can't take the city out of the girl. I get it. But this is not, she's putting on a persona. Or is she putting on the I'm rich JLo, do you want some tea persona, and like she still is Jenny from the block? I don't know. I just have so many questions. I don't have any answers. I'm never going to meet her. Never gonna meet her, never gonna know. But it's just so weird. It's just so awkward to me. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I know it was, well, if you went, what's your go-to? She hasn't been, when, I want to ask her when the last time she went to a bodega was. When was the last time you went to a bodega? Which one? Which one was it? Which block was it on? Miss Jenny from the, which block? She started off on Living Color, the flag. Yes, yeah, she was working at a high level at a very young age. And she quickly grew. Like, her popularity skyrocketed, you know, like, she is I would compare her skyrocketing of popularity to the Beyonce, to Britney Spears. It was almost overnight that she was everywhere. And very quickly, she was no longer going. She got her from the block. Okay, there's more. She's more.
So everyone knows I'm walking here. What's something else that real New Yorkers say?
You.
What? What? So the question, we all know, hey, I'm walking here. And he's okay. So what else? What else is very New York? She just turns around, flips him off, and just screams F you to him. Okay, I'm not gonna say that doesn't happen, because it does. But I would not say that that's the second most, like, stereotypical New York thing that's screamed on the streets at random humans. I mean, if this was filmed like a month later, she would have been able to, like, get punched in the face. I am sure it was the Amazon grocery store bodega that doesn't hire humans and charges $25 for a roll with the Swiss cheese and ham. Yeah, gabagool would have been a good one. A mozzarella, you know? It feels very forced. And I talk about body language a lot, right? Like, I talk about body language a lot. I think the only movie that she was good was Selena. Crystalline, that's actually a good point. Yeah, I agree. I also agree that Selena, just in general, had such, like, an impact on her life. I mean, as many of those from that specific time period. You know, Selena was a little before my time, which would make sense for Jennifer Lopez, who's, like, what, I don't know, how old, maybe 18 years older than me? How old is Jennifer Lopez?
Working on it.
Cam.
She is 54 years old.
Oh, she's 21 years older than me. Okay. I guess so. I mean, she was like, you're like an adult, you know, so she did do a really good job in Selena. I bet she doesn't know what cash looks like either. She probably doesn't. I am very familiar with ones and fives. So if you want relatability, that's me. I'm very familiar with ones and fives. 20s, not so much. 50s, forget about it. Forget about it. It would have been so much better. Forget about it. Hey, I'm walking here. You know, like, play up the... You don't just, like... Oh, hold on. Oh, what's another thing? Fuck you. What?
Hot dogs.
It just makes me laugh. She's so weird. And so here's my thing about JLO. I think she should embrace the weirdness. I think everyone should embrace their weirdness. Like, be the kooky you. Like, embrace your weirdness. I think she would regain the millennials that have now, like, lost all faith in her if she embraced her weirdness and, like, got back to her roots. Because a video came out. I don't have it. I'm just going to talk about it. A video came out. I love that. Wonder. Coffee. Yeah. Coffee. Let's get like, so anything other than F you to directly into the camera. And like, she lunged at him. Did you see her lunge? She lunged. So I think that, I think she should embrace her weirdness, her kookiness. You know, she doesn't have to be Jenny from the block anymore. She can be, you know, Jenny from LA. She could just be Jennifer. She doesn't need to be JLO. Like, she could just be herself, and I feel like she would regain all of the, like, the millennials that lost all faith in her when she came out with her AI-generated, this is me wanting to believe in hummingbirds. And, like, they exist. Maybe it was a threat instead of a statement. Could have been a threat. Not very frightening, though. Not very frightening. Okay, so that's JLO. I just wanted to share her silliness with all of you. Ham and cheese on a roll, orange drink, if you know, you know, and a small bag of chips. If you come back with a large bag of chips, F you. Okay, let's move on to, I just think she could take this moment in time. And like, okay, so last week we talked about Quiet on Set. After Quiet on Set aired, Drake Bell, who was a big, who was the young man on Quiet on Set that they made the documentary, who was sexually assaulted by Brian Peck. He took the opportunity with all the eyeballs on him, and he released a new song. A very meaningful song, very thoughtful song, very heartbreaking song. But it's really, he took that moment, since he has all these eyeballs on him, and he took it and he made it his moment, not Brian Peck's moment or what Brian Peck did to Drake. So I think right now JLo needs to take this moment and just embrace her fun, silly self and continue to be relaxed, calm JLo. I just don't think she needs to be Jenny from the block or like, I don't even know fancy name brands. Dolce & Gabbana? Is that something? I'll bet all her chips are baked in kettle fried by Franciscan nuns in some bumfuck area of Europe no one who earns under 70K a year knows about. Yeah. And she like drinks one wine that has like 3 barrels left, and it's like she's the only one allowed to drink it, and it was made in like 1976 out on Martha's Vineyard, and like it's special because like one guy just like spit in it all the time. Wine's gross. All right, let's talk about Anne Reynolds. Now that we have JLo done, she's done. She's just be done. Either be your silly goofy self or just be done, because we're done. Like, we're tired. We're tired, JLo. We're tired of it. Grape juice clears. The Anne Reynolds, the next topic. We're talking about the next topic. In 2018, Anne Reynolds is a woman. She's a person. And in 2018, she lives in California. In 2018, she bought an acre of land out in Hawaii for $22,500. It was at like a county tax auction. And so she like snatched this piece of land up. She went out and looked at it. It had the right foliage. It had the right like rising of the moon and the sun. It was everything for her. She wanted it. She bought it. She was going to build this like retreat, meditation, relaxation, healing retreat for women on this acre of land in Hawaii. So after she bought it, she went back home. She's planning up stuff. She's figuring out like how she wants to do it, what she wants to do. The pandemic hits. During the pandemic, something happened that she was not aware of. The area where her land was, surrounding area, they were building like a neighborhood. It was like multi-buildings going up. It was like 10 buildings or something. Homes, expensive homes, going up, kind of creating a neighborhood or extending a neighborhood. And the developer for the area and the contractors did not do a double check, and they plowed a plot of land, built a $500,000 house on it, and sold the house. A realtor was then contracted to sell this house. And that, lo and behold, we're selling the house. Okay, let me get this paperwork. Uh-oh. This house isn't on our land. So the real estate broker, scammer, agent gives Anne a call and is like, hey, so we just sold a house, and it just so happens to be a house that was built on your land. So let's figure this out. And she's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're selling, I didn't build a house on my land. I bought an acre of property, land I own. And so what the heck? While this is all happening, her property taxes start going up. Taxes on 1 acre of land with nothing built on it are going to be very, very low. Property taxes with an acre of land with a $500,000 house built on it are going to be very, very high, especially if the surrounding plots also have $500,000 houses on them as well. Your property taxes are going to shoot through the roof. So this is all happening, and she's like, what the hell is going on? She goes out to Hawaii, checks out the house, goes on in, and squatters. There's poop. There's poop everywhere. Squatters have broken into the house, gotten in. They're leaving stuff around. She now has to pay for fencing, no trespassing signs. The house didn't sell because you can't sell a house on someone else's land. And so it's like everything's kind of up in the air until the point where the developer sues the contractor suing the developer, and the developer suing Anne, the owner of the property, because she said, no, this is wrong, and no, I'm not going to buy the house that you wrongfully built on my property. And so the developers and contractors were like, well, why don't we just swap your property out for another acre? And she's like, no, I bought this one. It was perfect. It aligned with my zodiac sign, with the stars and the moon, and it was for her the way she wanted it, and she bought it the way it was supposed to be purchased. Everyone else did not do their job. So she is countersuing for all of the nonsense, all of the absolute nonsense. So I have a video of Anne on the news talking about this whole thing. So let's take a little peek at that. Bye-bye, JLO. Bye-bye. Nope, that's the funny one that we're going to end with. We're going to end... I love TikTok so much. Okay. So this is Hawaii News Now, and this was from a couple days ago, where Anne actually did a little interview to talk about what happened and what the hell's going on.
6:30, anger, accusations, and legal action are firing up on Hawaii after a construction company built a $500,000 house on the wrong lot. Now, the lot owner doesn't want the house, and she's being sued. Our Daryl Huff reports from the Big Island.
It's being called a $500,000 mistake, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on a 1-acre lot in Puna's Hawaiian Paradise Park. And it could cost a lot of people a lot more than that as they head to court to sort it out. In 2018, when she took this video, Ann Reynolds thought she'd found the perfect, serene 1-acre lot to host her meditative healing women's retreats because of the natural foliage and alignment of all the right spiritual and astronomical elements.
I mean, there's a sacredness to it, and the one that I chose to buy, that had all the right qualities.
The price was also right, available in a county tax auction for about...
So I can't hear. I don't know why I put those on. I can't hear anything. So as you can tell, like, the foliage is fantastic, and for what she wanted to do on this piece of land, I think it's brilliant. I mean, what better place than a quiet plot of land surrounded by, foliage and the sun than Hawaii to meditate,
$2,000. But while she waited in California through the pandemic for the right time to use it, this happened. The lot was bulldozed and
So imagine when you go out to Hawaii, you're expecting when you go out to see the plot of land that you purchased, you're expecting it to just be continuously growing. Maybe you have hired some sort of kind of landscaper to kind of keep things trimmed, but there wasn't much built around it, so I don't even think that would have been necessary. And then you come to see this. That's what you see.
Rose on the property without...
I'm sure that this house completely aligned with her ideas of what she wanted to do with that acre. Like, what the crap?
knowing about it until she got a call last year from a real estate broker who'd learned the mistake.
And then he informed me, well, I just sold a house and it happens to be on...
We sold a house and it just happens to be on your property. No. I have worked in customer service. I've worked in customer service a very long time. And that is not how you at all should have handled that phone call. If that is like verbatim what the real estate agent said on the phone, is that we just sold a house that just happens to be on your property. Those are not the words you say. I don't know if those are the actual words used. I'm pretty sure she'd have a very good memory, but I'm not calling her a liar, but it might be a summation of it. But if those are the words that real estate agent used on the phone, oh yeah, it just happens to be on your property. That's not it. Those aren't the words. I don't know what the right words would be, but I definitely would not go, it just happens to be on your property. That's crazy.
Property. So we need to resolve this. And I'm like, what? I mean, are you kidding me?
An attorney for the builder, PJ's Construction, said the developer, Kia'au Development Partnership, hired him to build about a dozen homes on properties the developers bought in a subdivision, where lots are identified by telephone poles. PJ's Construction said the developers didn't want to hire surveyors.
See, there's a lot of finger.
So this is now her lawyer talking, and they didn't want to hire surveyors because, of course, you don't want to hire surveyors. That's just more money that you're spending and you're not saving and or pocketing, in my opinion. Allegations.
Between the developer and the contractor and some subs.
The unsellable house became a nightmare. A neighbor who requested privacy said squatters were immediately attracted to the brand new vacant house.
Before they put the fence on this property, there were people coming already to this property, started, looking inside.
When she visited and saw the bathrooms, Reynolds discovered they'd done more than just look.
Both had poop. The hallway one had poop on the floor. And it was so disgusting.
Along with the cost of fencing, she's also paying property taxes that went from a few hundred to several $1,000s. The developers tried to settle by swapping the land. What do you... This is... the issue, offering to swap her their lot right next door or sell her the house at a discount. She refused both offers. Attorney James DiPasquale said she shouldn't pay for what she doesn't want.
It would set a dangerous precedent if you could go onto someone else's land, build anything you want, and then sue that individual for the value of it.
After trying to resolve the problem, Kia'au Development Partnership sued PJ's Construction, the architect, the prior lot owner's family, and the county, which approved all the permits for construction. They also sued Ann Reynolds.
It's awful. It's awful.
All the parties I spoke to today said they are being reasonable and the others aren't. That's why the developer says he pulled everyone into the lawsuit in hopes a judge can help unravel this mistake. We'll keep you posted. Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
6:30, anger.
To have the audacity to say that Anne, the owner of the property, is not being reasonable is insane. Absolutely insane to me. That's so wrong. Everything with that is wrong. And like her lawyer said, what type of precedent would this set if you can literally just build anything on any property, no matter who it belongs to, and then sue the property owner because they didn't want to figure it out, because they didn't want to buy the thing that you built on their property without their permission. The lazy work, the amount of money that the developers and contractors are now going to be spending on lawyers fees, filings, all of the nonsense is going to be not just a waste of money, but an exorbitant amount of money. More money than it costs to build that house, more money than it costs to, what is it? I wanted to say barricade, to destroy the house, to like dismantle the house, take it apart piece by piece. They're going to be spending so much more money on legal fees to sue the owner of the property than to fix their own mistake. And it was clearly their mistake. All you had to do was double check. Just a quick little, oh, that's someone's property, not ours. We're the next lot over. Or, hey, we want our houses to be right next door. I wonder if we could call the owner of this property and maybe we could talk to her about maybe changing the lots. Maybe she would be cool with getting a bigger lot without, let's swap lots. Give her a little benefit so we can still build our house. I don't know. She seems pretty reasonable. She seems pretty calm. She honestly probably would have been able to handle that as a decision instead, or go from there with the but now and the owner of the property now also has to spend an exorbitant amount of money on legal fees to get a lawyer to fight all of these jerkwads who are suing her because they built a house on her property. None of this makes any sense. This is absolutely mind-blowing. But what's actually the reason that I wanted to talk about this today is the squatters. We got to talk about squatters. We got to talk about squatting. We have to talk about it because it is absolutely out of control. And it will probably be the only time that in my life I say Ron DeSantis actually did something good. In New York State, all of New York State, squatters' rights kick in after 30 days. 30 days, Dan.
I've been reading the articles, Lily. It's crazy.
30 days.
If someone walked into my house and did that, I don't care. I would be arrested.
Yeah.
You're not staying in my house.
30 days.
That's what New York allows it. That's New York law.
That's New York law.
That is absolutely
That's
crazy.
state law.
That means someone could come in here after 30 days and take this spot and just live in here, and they would say it's technically their right.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yep. And you cannot change. Okay, guys. You cannot change the locks. You have to continue to pay the rent or the mortgage. You have to keep the heat and electricity on. You have to pay for the water. You cannot inconvenience your squatters in any way. Okay, so let's talk about squatters. Let's talk about it. It's a big deal. I'm clipping that remark about Ron. Don't do it, please. Please don't do it. Don't do it in Lone Wanderer's bunker. Please, I beg of you. I beg of you. Ah, that allegedly coke snorting, lift wearing freak. Oh, God. Okay, so in New York State, I got a Slurpee from 7-Eleven. Cherry. I wanted blue, but they didn't have it. So in New York State, 30 days, squatters. Do we know what squatters are? Say you go on vacation. Oh, you're taking a month-long cruise, right? You don't have a house sitter. You don't have any no trespassing signs up. You don't have anyone coming to just check on the house, like anyone that you know. You don't have like a piece of paper that's signed, that, anything like that. Like you don't have anything that says that someone exists and like lives here. You don't have anything that warns people off the property. You don't have anything like that. People come in. I won't clip it. Okay, thanks. It's like, I won't clip it again because I already did. You don't have the no trespassing signs or trespassers will be fined or whatever. Like no parking signs, something like that. Anything that like warns people off your property. and some say you're gone for 31 days. The day you leave, someone moves in. They've been there for 30 days, and you come home, and there's someone in your house, and you call 911. Hello, we have trespassers. No, you got squatters. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Cops knock on the door. Hey, hello. You don't live here. Oh, we got a lease. Okay. Their hands are tied. Right? Cops can't do anything. If they claim to have a lease or like a rental agreement or something like that, cops got to back off, and you have to what? Pay money and lawyer fees and legal fees and filing fees to start the eviction process. And which, depending on where you are, if you're in a small town like upstate northern New York, it's probably going to be a little faster. Past, I think it's like 60 days. But if you're in a larger city, even like Syracuse, Binghamton, and don't even get me started if you're down like in a packed borough, it could take up to 2 years for the legal eviction process to take place. So here we have a problem. And not every state, I don't know where everyone's watching from, but not every state is 30 days, but New York State alone is 30 days. So I'm going to play a video so that everyone's blood pressure can get nice and high with me. Because this is absolutely heartbreaking. So this is actually from Saks Realty. It's called Squatters' Rights. So what would happen to you if you did not pay anything for the squatters? Do you go to jail? You can be compelled to pay mortgages. Yes. So, okay, good question. Before we watch the video, yes, you can be arrested for interfering, either like physically or by not paying to keep the house up and running, because squatters have rights after the 30 days. So they have rights to live there. Okay, let me slow my brain down. So yes, you have to pay to keep the house up. So if that's, power, heat, if it's cold, keep the air con running. If it's hot, water, you can't shut off water. You can't shut off the electricity. You can't change the locks on the doors. You can't remove any doors or windows from the house. You can't even technically go on the property after 30 days, especially if you have already started the eviction process. Because it's weird because I'm not talking like legal, like I don't have all the legal terms, but within those 30-day windows, you can call and have trespassers. Like before the 30 days hit, they're a trespasser. They're breaking an entry. They're not squatters yet. But once those 30 days kick in, they're official tenants of that property. Especially if they have said that they have a lease. But even if they don't have a lease or show a lease, or don't say that they don't have a lease, and they can prove that they have been living in that facility for 30 days, then they are tenants. I drained the Freon from the AC accidentally when I pretend to play nice and offer to cut the grass. They shouldn't have any rights. They broke in. They should go to jail or get a job to get their own place. And I am right there with you. I think this is absolutely fucking absurd. So insane to me. There are states that have longer, 6 months, 2 years. I think one state was even like 2 years. Ron DeSantis, why I brought him up. He agrees that the squatting epidemic is out of control, and he is I don't know the specifics, but I know that he was news headlines of him removing squatters' rights just in general. Squatters should not have rights. You cannot steal a home. This is modern day America. People are getting felonies for stealing toilet paper, so this is, you can't steal a home. So yeah, but before we watch this video, I want to kind of bring it in because there's the epidemic of squatters that I'm talking about specifically right now is happening in New York City, in the highly densely populated areas in New York State. Even, and when I say the highly dense, yes, New York City, but also things like Syracuse, those really bigger, like they're like big medium cities like Binghamton too. It's an epidemic. We have seen, and I don't want to like start like an immigration war where we're adults here just having conversations. And I want to make sure I say my words right. But we have seen a major influx in migrants moving through the states and coming through like the Mexico border, which I want to make it very clear that not all migrants or immigrants or illegal aliens, whatever you choose to identify these humans as, but they are humans, are not all Mexicans. They're not all from Mexico. It's just an easy border to cross for pretty much anyone from the rest of the world that would like to come into America, without having like the opportunity to do it the I'm doing air quotes if you're just listening, do it the proper way, all that nonsense. There is an influx. Now, not all squatters are migrants or illegal immigrants or anything like, not all squatters, right? Like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. It's not just that. But the influx of humans without homes is resulting in an influx of humans squatting. So I think that's a correlation that we're able to kind of pull together, right? Like as adults with adult brains, we need squatting to be illegal under federal law and codified. Agreed. 100% agreed. 100%. I was talking to my boyfriend because we were watching a video, and there's like a team of like squatter professionals like to like professionally like go in. There are loopholes that are different per state, that little tiny things that you can do, like get a home inspection. Is the home damaged? Is it livable? If it's not livable, then the eviction energy can kind of be sped up if they did enough to the house where, there's a little loopholes. I'm not a lawyer. Don't, if you have a squatting situation, don't take your advice from me. But these are the things that I have been seeing over the past few years when I've been looking at all the squatter stuff, which has blown up these past couple weeks. There are little things that you can do, and I know a home inspection is like a key piece of getting squatters out a little bit faster. If you believe that they have damaged the home to the point where it's not livable, then a home inspection can really come in clutch. There are people like whose profession is to help people get the squatters out of their homes. I don't know if everything they do is legal, but they're online. But yeah, so it's a really big thing. And like I said, not all squatters are migrants. Not all migrants are squatters. Okay. But there has been a massive influx, especially in New York City, with the homeless and the houseless. People who have been kind of just transported and looking to no longer be transported and to transplant themselves into a new home in America. There are also people online who are encouraging those to squat and telling them how and telling them what to look for, and showing them easy ways to do it and the little tips, squatting 101. Don't encourage, if you come across that content, do not encourage it. Thumbs down, dislike, honestly report it. We don't want that. That's not what we do here. We work hard for our money. We work hard for it, honey. We work hard for our money. And if you are currently like this one woman here buying a $1 million, $2 million house, I'm going to assume that you worked hard for it, the money to buy that house, and you should not have squatters destroying your home, and you should not be handcuffed in your own home by the police that you pay taxes for, and putting you in a police car and taking you down to the station because you entered your own home, even though there were squatters there. Okay, so it's a whole thing. It's an epidemic, and it's really, really frightening that New York State has there is movement to change it. There just needs to be more affordable housing. It's pretty much that simple. The cure. right? Affordable housing. Everyone gets a house. Everyone can America should be Oprah. Like Oprah should have seen America and been like, I want to be the human version of America. But America needs affordable housing. When I tell you looking for an apartment and it's like in the area I'm in, I'm looking at like $2,400 for like a 2-bedroom. Smaller than my current one, but like no cats, no parking. It's nonsense. Affordable housing is key. But clearly the government can only fight one battle at a time. And right now it's, well, I guess two. It's like Putin and TikTok, right? So anywho, let's just take a little peek-see at Saks Realty, which is actually slamming it. They're crushing it right now with squatter. They did an episode on squatters' rights. They talk about it for probably about 10 minutes. I'll put it on 1.25 speed. And so you're going to get a little bit of this woman who was literally arrested for entering her own home.
This morning, a property owner confronts a group of people she says moved into a $1 million home in Queens. Our cameras were rolling as dozens of officers showed up.
A homeowner was recently arrested in Queens, New York for changing the locks to her home she owns, as she claims men were illegally squatting. Now, this seems to be a growing problem in the U.S. Let's have a listen to this clip from ABC News 7.
Now to a 7 on your side investigation into a growing problem in the tri-state area. Squatters living in other people's homes, all on the homeowner's dime. And we've told you about a few cases over just the past 2 weeks.
And it's all due to a legal loophole, that some people are working hard to close.
Investigative reporter Dan Krause joining us now with what he's found. Dan.
Yeah, New York has a long history of passing laws to protect tenants from greedy landlords, and for good reason. But some lawmakers say those laws have gone way too far. They say it also allows dishonest people to milk the system and to get free housing for years. We've heard from homeowner.
We are at the mercy of the squatter, the criminal.
After homeowner.
I don't have access. They changed my side locks and they changed my entire front door.
Who are fighting with squatters who have taken over their homes.
So yeah, so as you can see, the squatters changed the door completely, the side locks. They can do that. She is not allowed. The homeowner is not allowed to change anything. I don't know why. I can't hear anything. So the homeowner is not allowed to change anything, but the squatters can, because they are after 30 days legal tenants of that building.
In New York, if you call the police on someone who moved in without permission, if they claim to be a tenant, they can't be arrested for trespassing. The homeowner instead has to take them to court.
All right, that sounds crazy, right? So property owners seem to have less property rights than those illegally taking possession of their home. Welcome to this week's Real Estate Q&A, where we address real estate topics and answer 5 questions.
This seems like to be a pretty good source, though, if anyone's interested in real estate. It's called Saks Realty, and they have like a little podcast. I'm trying to break that. I am trying so hard to break that. It's like it's like passed down from generation to generation in my family. It's like, oh my gosh, you got a new little car, when it's like they have a Porsche, you know. I hate that. I'm trying to break that, so my apologies. They have a podcast, and it seems to be really great and full of information. So if you guys are interested in that, check them out, Saks Realty.
Comments left from viewers just like you within the last week on our YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Todd Sachs. I'm a Maryland real estate broker, and this channel is dedicated to everything real estate. Also, we have a really from criminal charges. And as for this woman, she needed to hire an attorney to protect her from criminal charges as she was arrested for changing the locks on men she claims were squatting in her home. Now, if you're not in the business, you may not understand what squatting is or what are squatters' rights. So we'll turn to Investopedia.com for this explanation. A squatter is a person who settles in or occupies a piece of property with no legal claim to the property. A squatter lives on the property for which they have no title, right, or lease. Okay, so squatters have no title, right, or lease to a home, so why can't you just kick them out? What the heck? This woman, who it was said illegally changed the locks on her own door, was clearly trying to prevent people from illegally living in her home. Now, like in many states in the U.S., in New York, if you call the police on someone who moved into your home without permission, if they claim to be a tenant, that's all it takes, They can't be arrested for trespassing. Instead, the owner has to take them to court to evict them. The average eviction in the city of New York takes about 2 years to complete.
Could you imagine continuing to pay your mortgage on a $1 million, $2 million house for 2 years, and you have no idea what the ever-loving hell is happening in that house? You have no control. You have to pay you have to find somewhere else for you to live. You have to pay mortgage, heat, electricity, the water bill, garbage pickup for a house that you can't even live in. This is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. Okay, I think that's really it. For that. So yeah, so squatting is a problem. Squatting is a massive problem. And now, squatters don't have to be random people that just entered your home. It can be renters that have just decided to not pay rent anymore. They could have had a lease, stayed there, not paying rent anymore. I'm going to squat until I get evicted and then have all the money you saved up, right? Now, the things that you can do to prevent your home from being squatted on, if you are leaving for a long period of time, get a house sitter. I personally am one. So if you need me, call me. No, I get a house sitter. If you have pets, get a dog sitter, a cat sitter, a fish sitter, a chinchilla sitter. Get someone who is going to be at that house at least every other day, right? And have photos of not just you, but them also. So take photos on a phone that timestamps your photos with you, the no trespassing sign anywhere around your house, all around your house. Just make a big lanyard and just on your house. No trespassing sign. A photo of you, the house, very clearly the house that you're. Very simple way of keeping yourself out of this situation. Do no trespassing signs all around your house look stupid and dumb? Yes. Is it ridiculous that just that and a few other steps can help protect you from possibly losing your house for 2 years? Yes. Do the laws need to be changed? Absolutely. Absolutely. But yes, get someone who's going to be there and have it in writing, handwriting, and signed that this person is watching my home. Here's this dated. Take a photo of it. Take a video of you signing. Cameras are very, very important, especially if you own. Cameras are important if you rent too. You want to know what's going on in your property, but especially if you own your home. Cameras everywhere. Cameras at the driveway. Cameras at the front door, back door, side door, in the backyard. You want cameras on your property that you can tap into that's going to alert you if there's movement or if a door opens or something like that. Not to spy on your dog sitter or house sitter, but to make sure that whatever's happening outside the house is okay. And if something is suspicious and you have a house sitter, or if you don't have a house sitter, have a friend nearby or a neighbor. Like, be kind to your neighbors, get your neighbors. It's silly that you have to spend some extra money, potentially monthly, to protect your house, but it is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than evicting squatters and who could possibly have damaged your house to no salvageability, you know? There is a guy in Louisiana that's been squatting and trying to sell houses. Somehow he keeps getting let off because the laws, he probably knows the laws to a T and is able to go to the brink where he's not actually breaking any laws. I think it's time to invest in electric fencing and an automatic gate. Yeah, absolutely. And like there are definitely, you know, more extreme things like bars that like lock, that like shoot, so no one can even get in unless there's like the eye scan or something. You know, there's extreme levels, of course. but I'm a dog sitter. And I tell my clients, like, you're not just getting a dog sitter, but you're also getting a house sitter. One of the very first times that I was dog sitting for my best friend, she went away. She's out on a cruise, having a great time. I'm texting her, hey girl, how you doing? Oh, so good. The next morning, I come home from, not the next morning. The next morning, everything was fine. I come home from work. Toilet exploded. Her entire like back of the toilet bowl just like snapped in half, and water running everywhere. I think it happened probably 2 or 3 hours before I got home, so it wasn't like a full day of water going everywhere. But if I wasn't there, she would have had massive water damage and an insane water bill. So you don't just have the perk of people aren't breaking into your house and living in it, but also that type of stuff. I was able to get it like halfway ready to be fixed by the time they got back. So, those types of things. If you're going away, even if it's just for a week, and say you just rent, like have a very trustworthy friend and have cameras also, because I saw this story online. I think it's time. I saw this story online where a girl, she had an apartment in the city and she was going to be gone for like a month, and she gave keys to her friend, and her friend let their friend like live in her apartment. So make sure it's a very trustworthy. Also cameras. So yeah, squatting is a big deal, and I can't, my brain like can't even understand. Like I get it, like I hear the words, I see the words, I understand all the stuff, but how can it be 2024 and squatters rights kick in after 30 days? After 30 days. What? That's crazy. There was a story, I think it was out in Arizona. Someone bought a house. This was from a couple years ago. So this was from a couple years ago during the pandemic, when there was an eviction moratorium. Is that what it was called? Moratorium, where you couldn't get evicted. There was like evictions were not allowed due to the pandemic. And so someone bought a house, and by the time they signed all the papers and pulled their truck up to, unload into their brand new home, squatters, and they couldn't go in legally. They couldn't do anything. And it took them forever to get back into their house that they bought, because the eviction process wasn't even an option at that point. So at least now eviction is an option. But back then, it was like 2 years ago in the pandemic, it wasn't an option. I wanted to talk about cats today, but it's already 6:00. Basically, to sum up, cats are invasive, and you need to keep your cats inside, and you need to spay and neuter your cats. Wow. I feel like, what's his name? Bob Barker. Spay and neuter your pets, because cats are invasive. Cats have made more bird species extinct than like any other animal, and just in the past like 200 years, right? Cats just kill half the time. So if you have an indoor-outdoor cat, like I unfortunately do have an indoor-outdoor cat. I cannot keep this cat inside. It came to me as an indoor-outdoor cat. Trust me, I want him to be an indoor cat. He will not stay inside. He will scream and like probably kill me before I let him out. So he is fixed, so there's no babies coming from him, but he's also injured, so he doesn't kill anything because he can't run fast enough. He's got a bad hip, so he can't run to go kill anything. But there are a lot of cats in my neighborhood. So if you also have cats in your neighborhood that are running around without collars, feel free to reach out to your city or your town. There are a lot of like shelters as well that do trap, neuter, release programs, because we just want to stop them from having all the babies. Like, don't keep having cat babies. If anyone is willing, there's a charity I know of that pays for stray cats to be spayed. Yeah, if you're able to put the link in there, absolutely. There's even like, what is it? Not Tractor Supply, maybe Tractor Supply, but also, Steve, do you know that store in Boston Spa, Curtis Lumber? Like those types of stores, I think they do like spaying cheap, or there's like injection. Oh my god, what are words? What are words? Yeah, no, I think they do like spaying and neutering and stuff too. Steve's over there helping me. The Humane Society charges $20 for fixing. Yes, there are a lot of options. So if you see cats in your neighborhood and you see a good sign for the men, for male cats, a good sign that you're seeing a male cat that has not been fixed is a big round face that wouldn't typically fit. Like if you saw the cat in like a picture, if the cat's like jowls and like cheeks get puffy, male cats outdoors, feral male cats. Feel free to call us. They'll come and trap them in safety traps, get them and release them back to where they picked them up, so they're not like lost in the middle of nowhere. And that's good. We don't need more cats running around. The problem over these past couple years since the pandemic was there was a massive influx in adoptions. And now with cats, there's a massive influx in releasing. I don't want this cat. It's too expensive. The litter box stinks. All the bullshit, right? Which the human should go to jail for that. But let's deal with this, because there's only so much we can deal with at one time, apparently. But yes, Humane Society is super great. A lot of places have like their own local like Humane Society or like Humane Society supported shelter. So definitely a cat just gave an owner bubonic plague a couple months ago. The cat died. The owner's fine. There was nothing really to worry about, even though the moment you see bubonic plague pop up on your phone, you kind of start to worry. But yeah, cats, cause the whole thing is about cats and how cats became like a household pet, like domesticated, because of their ability to catch like mice and rats. But in reality, scientifically, the mice and rats just don't continue to live where cats are. They actually aren't the best mice and rat catchers that are there. You know, I feel like sticky traps are probably the best. But so yeah, so that's like the whole thing. It's like they're really not that good at what we think they're good at, but they're not. The rats are just smarter to go around them. And so yeah, so careful with your cats. I don't know, that's all the cat stuff. Can I end on this hilarious TikTok? When I saw it, I screamed. Like I screamed out loud. So let me just pull it up. I screamed. And we're not making fun. We're laughing with, sorry, but this is just so funny. Who is this by? This is from Shay Lissette on TikTok 5 days ago. I couldn't.
Have faith in me.
Just a nice little I'm going to hell. I can't. Stop it. She's too much. She is too much. So I just wanted to end on that hilarious TikTok. Okay, that's it. We talked about not so stressful things today, which I think was good. I mean, like, yes, these things like still stress me out. Like squatters is like a real fear. I mean, I don't go anywhere, so I don't know why it would be a real fear. But like the squatters thing is scary. But we talked about some really heavy stuff the last couple of weeks. We'll get back to heavy stuff and maybe some true crime or something like that. But if there's ever anything that you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Reach out. Tell me. Okay, that's it. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Oh, Sunday is Easter if you celebrate. We are still in Ramadan. So have a fantastic holiday. I don't know. Eat a bunny. Eat a bunny. Don't you eat bunnies?
No.
Oh. You don't make bunny soup? Bunny stew? On Easter?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, we have like Easter pie and we're having lasagna.
What's Easter pie?
It's a pie that has like cheese, pepperoni. It's pretty much like a pizza.
Have you guys ever heard of Easter pie? I've never heard of Easter pie. We always have a bunny stew and we pluck the fur. But we keep one foot, a rabbit's foot. I'm just kidding, we don't.
The Italian Easter pie known as pizza rustica.
Pizza
Chock full of Italian meats and cheeses.
Oh.
It's traditionally served at the end of the day before Easter.
Oh. I just eat a lot of Peeps. No. Everyone's saying no. They've never heard of Easter pie. Wait, are you Italian?
Yeah.
So it's like an Italian thing. Oh. Yeah. No, my mom used to do a scavenger hunt though. It was so cute. So it would always end at Peeps. But she'd put like one note like on the kitchen counter and it'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so cold in here. Quick, run. And it would be like, you find the next note in the freezer and it'd be like, oh man, I really wish someone would do the laundry. And the next note's like in the laundry basket. Oh, I love that. The little scavenger hunt. We should do a scavenger hunt.
Could be fun.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Instead of like an egg, like looking for like picking up, searching for eggs, it was always a scavenger hunt that ended with Peeps. She'd always eat the Peeps. We're not big Peeps fans. But anyway, have a great weekend. Happy Easter. I'll see you guys next Friday. Don't get squatted on. Oh, that's a weird. Okay, just end it. Goodbye. Goodbye.